Last year, Dert began an important journey which quickly became one of the most thought out and influential initiatives recognizing our military members and veterans through the military-themed equipment and new truck driver pay scale that starts military veterans at a higher rate of pay, taking into account their driving experience in the military. In August, Dert signed a statement with the Department of Defense Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve to show its commitment in working with transitioning military veterans. And in October, Dert began airing a segment on Hiring America, a TV show dedicated to the employment of transitioning military veterans and their families. In September, we began accepting entries to lease one of these 3 trucks. The number 1 requirement for entry is having served or to be serving in the United States military. In October, a committee of 9 carefully selected people from the Dert network narrowed the entries and interviewed 5 drivers. From those 5, 3 were selected. Today, we'll be presenting 3 very deserving drivers with the keys to these beautiful military trucks behind us. These 3 drivers represent the Army values to the highest degree: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And there is no doubt in our minds that they will carry these same values behind the wheel of their trucks. Before we announce the winners, we have a few special guests joining us today who were influential in wrapping these trucks and trailers.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the privilege to speak today at this event. When I was asked if Rihm Kenworth would participate in Dert's project to honor veterans by wrapping trucks in a military theme, I didn't have to think twice. How often do we say, "I support our troops," and then wonder what we can do to lend our support? How often do we hear that veterans struggle to reconnect with civilian life and wonder what we can do to help? For someone who has not had a military experience, but has a deep respect and appreciation for those who have, this opportunity was most welcome. You are so fortunate to work for an owner and have managers who so highly value your service to them that they would create moving billboards to honor your service to our country and offer this opportunity for you to drive one every day. I understand the application process included writing an essay or a story about why you should be chosen to lease one of these trucks. Everyone has a story. All the veterans working among the Dert driver talent each come with their own, and I wish I could hear them all. My assumption is that your story is one of pride from your years of service and desire to show your pride by driving a truck that helps tell your story. In thinking about what to say today, it occurred to me that your service stories include a large portion of sacrifice, and that as a truck driver, you continue to serve and sacrifice in ways that I and most others have not experienced. We've only been beneficiaries of your choice. In searching for words to express my gratitude, I ran across a poem written by a woman named Cheyenne Marbury. She's not a famous poet, just a regular citizen. She found words to express sentiments I would like to have said myself, and reflect what you have done and what you continue to do as drivers. It's entitled, "Thank You." Thank you to our soldiers for standing in the line of fire. You are the best example of what this country can acquire. I know that being away from your family isn't easy. Thinking about your sacrifice always makes me feel queasy. The battle that you are currently fighting in makes living day to day feel like such a win. Without you, our eagle would not soar. So thank you very much for fighting this war. I will leave you with those words and these. Kenworth has a slogan for their product, "The world's best." When I see you, I can't help but say no. It's all the U.S. veterans who are the world's best. Thank you.
It is very humbling for me to be able to speak on behalf of Kenworth Truck Company at today's Veteran Day event, honoring 3 men who served our country to protect our freedoms. They now serve our country in a different manner, keeping America moving every day. Serving our country and truck driving are probably 2 of the most unappreciated occupations in the United States. This is not the case when it comes to Dert Transit. It has been very evident working with the Dert team over the past few years that the drivers are priority number 1. Whether it is the latest collision avoidance system or driver comfort features such as Bose seats and automatic in-cabin temperature control, the Dert management team is on board. They have some of the most safest and driver-friendly trucks on the road. Today's event is just another example of the high esteem that Dert Transit holds for their professional truck drivers. Kenworth Truck Company is honored to be a part of this program today. Support for our country's military has been a foundation for Kenworth that can be traced back to World War II as a key supplier to the U.S. military and being a part of the federal government's mobilization planning program. We continue that tradition today as we partner with programs such as Hiring Our Heroes, looking to recruit veterans for our own personnel needs, as well as supporting drivers with a variety of programs. When we were approached by Dert to be a part of this program, it made absolute sense for Kenworth to be involved and saw Dert as the perfect partner to continue our support of the military and veterans. Thank you for allowing Kenworth to be a part of this ceremony today. We thank you for your partnership. Most of all, I would want to thank the drivers here today. We thank you for your business and the desire to drive the Kenworth T680, the world's best truck. We appreciate your professionalism and your dedication to keep America moving every day. More important than that, on behalf of Kenworth Truck Company, to all active and retired military members, I want to thank you for your service to our great country. Congratulations to the winner of this contest, and I hope you enjoy driving your new Kenworth T680s. Thank you.
The Minnesota Trucking Association is pleased to be here to participate in this special Veterans Day event here at Dert. And I want to offer my personal thanks to all the veterans today for their service to our country and to their continuing service to the trucking industry. And I don't really think we can say that enough today. I want to congratulate the 3 winners of the truck, which will be announced later. Had a chance to visit with them beforehand and talk about pride. Pride not only in getting these trucks, but pride in what they do. It's really exciting to be part of an industry that people care so much. And of course, you can't do your job unless you do it well. You're mission focused. When you're in the military, you have missions, you have objectives, and you know what you need to do. You have a plan. The same is true for a truck driver. Every day, every route, every load, it's a mission, it's a plan. And when you deliver it well, defect-free, on time, no accidents, that's a job well done, mission accomplished. So we thank you for doing that every day. And I have to tell you how fun it is to just see trucks like this and to see companies like Dert. Dert is a member of the Minnesota Trucking Association. All our members are great, but Dert is a premier company with what they do and how they shine a light on contributions of our veterans and the career opportunities offered by this great industry. When member companies like Dert tell this story and put trucks on the road, they help the Dert team, but they help lift the whole industry to draw people to an essential industry that sometimes is forgotten. And I want to say thank you to Rihm Kenworth and Kenworth Truck Company for partnering to make these wraps possible. We live in a visual age, don't we? We live in an age where graphics matter. And do you agree that these graphics pop? They really, really do. Congratulations to the graphics folks. They will serve as wonderful rolling billboards. And what I think they're going to do is they're going to inspire pride and they're going to inspire interest, which exactly is their goal. And just on a personal note, I want to close and say, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I did not serve in the military, but my father did. All my uncles did. I had an uncle that was at Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. I had an uncle who died in the Pacific. My father came home and he had a family. He's passed, but if he were here today, what I know, first of all, he would be amazed to see trucks like this, but he would also feel deeply honored, as you should be. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's my great pleasure today to be able to introduce a couple of special guests that have joined us. Here representing the Minnesota Vietnam Veterans Charity, Jerry and Jana Kaiser. Under the umbrella of the Minnesota Vietnam Veterans Charity, there's an organization called Honor Flight. And I've asked Jerry and Jana to please talk a little bit about that organization and their mission.
Well, it's an honor to be here on this Veterans Day, and as the truck says, freedom is fragile. We work with a generation that's somewhat fragile. We take World War II and Korea War veterans to Washington, D.C. And 2 weeks ago, we had our 16th flight. We take 162 people on each flight. And these people are our heroes. We have adopted them, we love them, because freedom isn't free. And we just thank them at every step of the way on that journey, on that one-day trip, to thank them for their service. And we'd like to thank each and every veteran that is here, that is a legacy of our country, for your service. And this is my greatest hero. 2 tours in Vietnam, helicopter crew chief and door gunner, 200 combat missions. And he started Minnesota Vietnam Veterans Charity in 2004. And we began the Honor Flight in 2008. And it has worked in spite of us, because we had no idea what we were doing. Sometimes we still don't, but we sure have fun doing it. So Jerry is boots on the ground for Honor Flight, and we're not going to take up a lot of your time today. I think there's a short video, and then Russ wants to say a little something about Dert's participation and their financial support to the Honor Flight Twin Cities. We do appreciate that very much. So Jerry probably has, as he always does, a few words.
Thank you. She is my beloved wife. And I, on this trip, I play the Sergeant Major. Sergeant Majors make the rules, and she's the 4-star general. But we have a great time doing this, and our World War II and Korea veterans absolutely love it. That picture right there, that is the Marine Corps Memorial, and that is certainly from World War II, and that's the most cherished thing for those Marines and Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine. That's what we've taken. We've taken 1,400 World War II veterans and about 60 Korea. Now the next one we do is in May 6th, 2017, and another one in October, first couple weeks in October of 2017. That will be fewer World War II and more Korea veterans. And so we're going to keep on doing this until we run out of money or we get too tired. 2021 is the current goal for us. It is an honor for us to be here today. I come from a family who's been in the military in America since the colony days, 260 years, and I'm the latest one. My father was a World War II and Korea veteran, and I started this actually to honor him and my mom, who was also a Red Cross worker during World War II. They passed away, and so we've adopted these gentlemen and ladies. We've taken over 100 World War II women veterans on these trips as our own, and it is a pleasure for us to do this, and we thank Dert for their participation with helping us pay for these trips. They cost about $85,000 per flight, $53,000 for the airplane, and the rest is all the other things we got to do. It's they're up for about 20 hours. It's a great day.
Since its inception, this organization has transported nearly 170,000 World War II and Korean War veterans on honor flights. The veterans are accompanied by a guardian, and guardians help offset the cost of the flight, donate $500 for the privilege of being a guardian on an honor flight. Kristen mentioned that we had 10 veterans within the Dert network that submitted entries to drive one of these trucks. If you read the submissions or the entries and met the people, you came out feeling the pride and the passion that these people have for their military service and for their country. And we wanted to do something for each of the people, not just the 3 people who were finally chosen to drive these trucks. So what we are going to do is donate $500 for each of the 10 people who provided submissions, so they can be a guardian on the next available honor flight from the Twin Cities.
Now I think we've waited long enough. Finally, it's my pleasure to introduce Dert Chairman of the Board, Donald Oren, who will be announcing and introducing our 3 winners. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Oren to the stage.
So many stories, told and untold. It's just a fabulous event to have a chance to reflect and to think about all that's been done in our behalf. I want to thank each of you for being here today to help us celebrate this event. We really appreciate your attendance. I also want to thank my 3 sons, Dave, Dan, and Brad, who support this event, support this effort. And it's just our privilege and it's our honor to do whatever we can to support the veterans. Our hope is that these trucks, as they crisscross the nation, that they will be a living billboard, and that they will help us all remember and recognize the sacrifices that have been made. I think it also might help drivers understand that this is a friendly place for veterans, and perhaps they could give us a call. We welcome all the drivers and all the veterans. Well, Mark's a 20-year veteran. He's been with Dert for 7 years, so that's a good part of his life. He lives in Louisiana with his wife Susan, and many of his relatives are here today. I think with that, I think we'll just hand out a key here. If you'd like to say a few words, well, I'll hand you the mic.
Wow, what a glorious day, huh? It's a beautiful day, and look at this beautiful truck. The thing that strikes me the most is I spent 20 years of my life in the military. And when you spend that long of a time in a particular organization, you love that organization. And you realize that when you join and you're 18 years old and you retire at 38 years old, that the organization itself has made you who you are. Well, when I joined when I was 18, I went to the recruiter and said, I don't know how to be a soldier. Can you teach me? And they said yes. So 20 years went by rather quickly. I met my wife, had my kids who also served, my son Michael in the Army and my daughter Michelle in the Navy. Then 20 years was up, and then I had to decide, well, what happens now? I can't be a soldier anymore. So I started driving truck, and I drove for companies. And then I said, you know something, I want something bigger. So I called Dert up, and I said, I want to be an owner-operator, but I don't know how to do that. They said, Mark, come to us. We'll teach you. And they did. And I've been successful. And this is not only a tribute to the time that my family, because my wife's also a soldier, as well as my kids. My nephew is a soldier. This tribute affects all of us. And when I drive down the road and other veterans see this, they're going to be waving at me. They're going to be giving me the thumbs up. And I'm going to say, yep, that's right. When other drivers see it, they're going to ask me about it. And I'm going to say, hey, are you a vet? They're going to say, well, you know something, I am. I said, why don't you come home to Dert then? Okay, so thank you, Mr. Oren. Thank you, Kenworth. And thank all of you for being here today.
Next we have Josh Channel. He's served in the Army for 8 years and is still enlisted. He's been with Dert for over 1 year. He lives in Minnesota. His grandmother is here, and cousins are here from Florida also. So thank you for coming. We appreciate your visit.
Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant Jana. This is truly a great honor to be standing here today. This is a big day here at Dert Transit Company and the Dert Network as a whole. I would like to start off by thanking all of my fellow brothers and sisters here today that served. I would also like to thank the Oren family, Kristen Reese, and Connor Nystrom in the Marketing and Communication Department, Carrie Rihm with Rihm Kenworth and the Kenworth Trucking Company, the fleet managers and staff and operations to include Jim Neubauer, Alex Falkowski, and Susan Winehouse, Larry the Legend Severson for adopting me as a driver and helping me to become the trainer I am, as well as being a beacon of support. The guy responsible for cleaning and polishing the awesome trailer outside behind me today, Matt Hargis. This man is a true friend. Sorry. And has helped me through a lot of personal issues. So thank you, Matt. And lastly, my grandfather, Bill Lamb, who couldn't be here today, because we lost him in October of 2000, and he was a World War II veteran and my best friend. I would also like to thank his wife, my grandmother Helen, sitting over here today, my aunt, well, what the hell, my aunt and my Aunt Karen and my Aunt Joyce for always supporting me in everything I've done. Thank you, team. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do as servicemen, women, or as drivers. Thank you.
Next we have Pat Wortham, U.S. Army retired. Pat served in the Army National Guard for 11 years and has been with Dert for just over 1 year. He lives in Minnesota with his wife Gail and son and daughter. And much of your family lives in Minnesota here, so you're a native. So thank you for your participation, and would you care to say a few words?
I hope you have another key because I don't want to break this to get this one out. Well, most of my family's here. We couldn't do this without the support of our families. Much like serving in the military. If you don't have your family behind you, it doesn't work. I've got a great family support network. Dert has been awesome. I'm sure, sorry, this is a little different than being a veteran, but back in July, first part of July, I'd actually thought about leaving Dert. Me and my dad were looking at doing something different business-wise. My father tragically passed away on the 12th of July. I called Dert. I was in Illinois. I needed to get home. Now, a lot of companies say, "Oh, don't worry, we get you home. We can get you home. Don't worry about it." They'll all tell you that. Well, I'm here to tell you, your staff would be very proud of them. I got the phone call at 8:30. By 8:32, they already had me rerouted coming home. When I called the night dispatch, it was very noisy in the background. The gentleman I was on the phone with, I don't know what he said, but it got deathly quiet in that room. All I heard was computers clicking, and they were changing loads. They got me home. I was home the following day, and I didn't think I'd get home. That's what we get working here for Dert. They truly care about us, and as you can see, they care about the military as well. The image of that flag being raised in World War II is something that's always stuck with me. My grandfather, at the age of, I believe he was 16, maybe 17, after Pearl Harbor was bombed, walked into the Marine Corps recruiting office, filled out the application, lied, told him he was 18. They sent him to boot camp where they found out how old he really was. Sent him back home, and my great-grandmother had to sign a document letting him go to World War II. But he said,
you look at that image, it's the epitome of what us veterans fought for. If it wasn't for the men and women that served during that time, we'd be speaking a different language. And that image is something that always has stuck with me, and I'm happy to see it on the sides of these trucks, because it's going to be a great talking piece out there. It's going to turn a lot of heads, and it's going to bring a lot of attention to a great company like Dert. So again, thank you for an awesome staff and everything you're doing.